Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Friends Talking Nerdy. This is Tim Jousma, and with me I have Kim the Geek. How you doing?
I'm driving in the rain, and people suck.
Yes, we are doing another mobile episode this week, and the beauty of this week is that we are finally going to a movie again.
Going to the movies,
Yes, the Laurelhurst Theater in Portland, Oregon has opened back up, and they have a new HVAC system in place. The Laurelhurst, I would say, the reason I love it is the ambiance, the atmosphere. It's not the biggest place. It's not the best movie theater around, but
sounds pretty good, and the seats are pretty comfy, and the food's good. So, really, that's all you need.
Yeah, it's like, they're like well-worn jeans.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's where we had our first date.
Oh, there you go. So, of course, we had to go back there. And
yeah, because we didn't get to do anything on our anniversary. So, yeah, hot date at the movies.
Woo!
Woo!
There's a card at the...
Speaking of hot, I just had to turn the AC on because it's getting steamy in here.
Yeah. And not just because we're in it, hey. But we are off to the movies for the first time since early 2020 when we watched Knives Out.
Yeah, that was February of 2020? February? Early March? Something like that.
It was like, wasn't it like a week or two after NXT?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's first time in a long time, almost a year and a half, and we are going to see the movie together.
Together?
Zing!
I've got all the lines today, what can I say?
All right. So, basic... Oh, and that's why. Looks like we got...
That's why we're stuck in traffic.
Yeah, we thought we would start at the...
down trailer. Great. Now I gotta merge.
Anyway, well... possibly.
Yeah, I think I do. Because I got butt heads all around me.
Yeah. Anyway, the movie Together is kind of a dramedy, apparently, from what I've read, starring Ed Helms from The Office, and I'm sure he's done some other stuff.
The Hangover.
The Hangover.
He was the guy missing the tooth in The Hangover.
I never watched those movies.
You never watched The Hangover? You should at least see the first one. I never saw the other ones, but the first one was really, really funny. Like, seriously, like, wet your pants funny. I literally nearly wet my pants laughing at that movie. It was so funny.
Gotcha. Also, it's starring, I believe her name is Patty Harrison. She plays a role on the Hulu show Shrill that's based out of Portland. And the book that TV show is based on is going to be our next book club selection.
Oh, I haven't read Shrill, but I like the series. I watched the first season. I enjoyed it.
Yes, so it's... like I said, part of our book club, and you can definitely, of course, be in the book club if you wanted to join along.
I can?
Yes.
Exciting. Okay, I'll have to read it then.
Yes. Okay, so, Patty Harrison is in that show. She plays the secretary, the one with the attitude in the show.
Okay, well, all right.
You'll see her.
It's been a while since I've watched it, so.
Yeah, so, we are, again, doing a mobile episode here. We are on our way to the movie theater. This is what I really love about being able to do the mobile recordings, just being able to have life happen and kind of roll along with it, so.
Yeah, let's hope we don't have any bad life happening, like somebody sideswiping me or dodging into traffic or...
Yeah, that would be a thrilling episode.
That would be a shitty episode. Shitty for me.
Yeah, but
yeah, you'll just laugh like the court jester that you are, and I'll be over here suffering.
No, you'll find a way to get the car up and running just enough to chase me down with it.
Sure, yeah, and then that'll be another episode. Friends Talking Nerdy from prison.
Hey, I mean, it could be like Tiger King.
Oh, God. Fucking Tiger King.
Well, we are getting off the highway right now, and, oh, man, I remember this place, the meditation center. It's funny, back in Michigan, a building like this would be a church, and it looks like it was a church at some point,
yeah.
But it got bought out, so... Shows you all the heathens that live here, but Yeah, we are heading to the Laurelhurst. The Laurelhurst Theater has been around since like the 20s, I believe.
It's been around for a long damn time. I know that.
Yeah, so it's kind of a smaller place, like we mentioned, but yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how they handle this, and this is kind of be a live review because we're going to watch the movie and then you'll hear. Listen to me stutter all over the place. Sorry about that. But you at home are going to hear a brief musical interlude here momentarily. That's going to be us watching the movie. Once we get out of the movie, we're going to start the recording back up and then give you our thoughts on the movie itself and also about the Laurelhurst. We don't know what their protocols are like since they opened back up, and I want to be able to tell all my Portland friends that the Laurelhurst is a great place to go to movies.
I would agree with that, and hopefully there will be some theaters opening back up in Vancouver soon too. Vancouver, Washington, that is, not BC. I don't care what happens in Canada because it's like 6 hours away. So
we just lost our Canadian audience.
Oh God, I'm sorry, Canada. I love you. It's just that I'm jealous of your healthcare. That's what it is. I'm totally jealous of your healthcare, considering that I have a $700+ bill that I have to pay because deductibles suck.
Oh, yay USA, right?
Yay America. America. Fuck you.
Yeah. I love the people. Like, we just had a car here that just did a lane change without a turn signal or anything like that, and they just pulled like right in. And with the vehicle they probably had a blind spot in terms of seeing what was in the lane we were in turning. So
they have a lot of faith in humanity that I do not have, because I would not be doing that.
They never worked retail.
They have California plates too. Sorry, California, but you guys drive like assholes.
I lived there for a decade. I'm glad I'm out. Let's put it that way. But anyway, so yeah, I think we will do the musical interlude, and when we get back, you will hear our thoughts on the movie and on the Laurelhurst as well. I really, really hope we can say some good stuff about the Laurelhurst.
I hope so too, because I liked them before the pandemic started, and I want to continue to like them. So
yeah, as someone who's seen firsthand, and I know you've seen firsthand, how companies they do as little as they can to make it look like they're doing something when they're really not. And but I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hopeful because I know they've also done a lot of work on the building as well. The professor and I have been in the area a few times, and we've seen the work that they've done on it, the new paint job on the outside. So it's looking really, really nice. So yeah. So here we go. Musical interlude time. Thank you all for listening. All right, we just got out of the movie theater and we are in the car heading back home. Tell us, Kim the Geek, what did you think of Together Together?
It's not the kind of movie I normally see. I would kind of rate it more as a chick flick than anything else. But it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, it really would have been nice to have like an Avengers Endgame type of movie waiting for you.
Yeah, or if they had one of, because the Laurelhurst has played like a lot of like 80s and 90s movies and stuff, and that's what our first date was. We went and saw Predator.
Yeah.
In that theater. So,
romantic classic.
I know, it was a classic romance Predator. That would have been fun to have seen, something like that, like RoboCop or something like that would have been fun. But it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we got a green.
Yeah, we got a green, but there's a lot of people crossing the street. And I have to wait for them.
Okay.
And we're going, and we're driving.
Backseat driver.
Yeah, front seat driver, whatever.
Anyway.
Okay, and we're on.
All right, so what did I think of the movie? I thought the movie was okay. I'll put it like this. To be fair, like you said, it's not the type of movie I would normally see, because the Laurelhurst doesn't have many screens. There weren't many choices.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of movies out right now.
Yeah, so, but having said that, like when we saw Booksmart, I do try and, this movie was directed by a woman, and I think it is imperative that if there's anything slightly catching your interest that is directed by a woman, you go see that movie.
Yeah, that's true. And also it was very, I don't want to say bougie, but at the same time, it's like, the main characters are living in friggin' San Francisco, and San Francisco is very expensive to live in, and there's this like person who works in a coffee shop living by themselves in San Francisco.
No,
that's not really very realistic at all.
Yeah, I mean yeah, you would imagine it would be a lot like Portland in a way that she would have had like a roommate or three.
Like at least two roommates probably in that tiny little apartment or whatever it was she was living in, like that studio.
Yeah, now the one thing I didn't care for, and I guess I'm not a huge fan of his acting in general, is Ed Helms.
I like Ed Helms. I think he's got that nerdy sexy thing going on.
That's fine, I guess, but for me it's just he always comes off as just ultra fake.
Oh, kind of smarmy?
That
word you're looking for?
It's anytime I've seen him act in any role, which admittedly has not been much, so maybe there's something out there that I haven't seen that I'd be blown away by, but every time I see him, it's like he's the male Parker Posey.
I wouldn't quite go that far. I wouldn't say the male Parker Posey, but I see what you're getting at. He does kind of have that generic white guy appeal.
Yeah, and it just there's no substance there. There was no charisma.
Well, I wouldn't say there's no substance or charisma. He's just a generic kind of nice.
Well, to be clear,
guy.
I mean, I'm just, stating my 2 cents. Obviously, he's a working actor in Hollywood, has been in a number of movies and TV shows. So, if I was truly serious that he was bad at what he was doing, I'd be a fool. But same old. I just didn't care for him. I thought Patty Harrison, her character, I thought was really good. I think she showed a lot more substance than I've seen of her in Shrill.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, now we walked out and you mentioned you did not care for the ending.
I did not care for the ending, no, because I don't necessarily need the ending of a movie to wrap up every single loose end, but I like it to resolve at least a couple things, and it did not do that for me at all, and so I was just kind of like, seriously, that's the end? That's how you're going to end it? Seriously? That's how you're going to end it?
Yeah, now, to be clear, as always, when we talk about anything, we will bring up spoilers, and in this case, the movie is about that Patty Harrison is a young woman who becomes a surrogate mother for Ed Helms and who wants to be a single father, but during the time of the pregnancy, they get a friendship, and the movie kind of gives you crumbs that make you think that there's a chance that they might ultimately stick together. Now, by stick together, I don't necessarily mean romantic, but I think it implied that she would be in his life more, and how it ended was just her sad on the table after the pregnancy crying.
Yeah, that's how it ended, and it was just kind of wah wah.
Yeah, because because like what you're talking about, it's like take The Empire Strikes Back, for instance. There were plenty of loose ends that did not wrap up. Obviously, Return of the Jedi took care of that. However, that movie had an proper emotional ending. By the time that movie ended, the main part of that story, we felt there was an ending because the story was emotional. And this, it's like they were going for emotional at the end, but they were setting it up as if they're setting it up as if there's going to be because basically the movie was split into trimesters.
That's how the title cards went for each part of the movie. Ah, crap, I'm in the wrong lane.
Now we can take the scenic route, right?
Okay, we can take the scenic route. But yeah, the movie was split into trimesters, so then I figured there would be like a fourth chapter, like Afterbirth or something, you know? And it just ended.
Yeah, and, you know, yeah.
And it left a lot of loose ends, and I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, I wanted more. I didn't necessarily need to see, you know.
I didn't necessarily need a proper Hollywood happy ending and, oh, they're going to end up together forever and they'll raise the baby and everybody be happy. I didn't need or want anything like that. I just kind of wanted a couple of, just sort of tie it up just a little bit. Kind of like you tie off the umbilical cord.
What they should have done, they should have had like a scene after that. Once the credits go, they will have the camera pull back up, and it's like a couple years later. She mentioned because like the reason she became a surrogate is to get money to go back to college.
Yeah.
So what would have been a great way to end the movie, and you didn't have to have one word of dialogue, is have the graduation.
Yeah, like college graduation, and then a camera pans and there's Ed Helms with the toddler.
Yes, and everybody's smiling, everybody's waving. It shows that they kept in touch, but obviously it wouldn't be like a romantic thing because they didn't set it up as that or anything like that. But it would have been it would have felt like a proper ending.
Yeah, and it didn't wrap it up. It just bugs me.
Yeah. Having said that, it was great being in the movies again.
It was nice. It was nice going to the movies, and it felt very safe.
Yes, that's one thing I did want to bring up. We mentioned we would let you know our experience at the Laurelhurst, and I have to say, even though it was really busy when we got there, I felt comfortable. I felt safe. I think the staff had everything in control. I think there was proper, social distancing. I felt it wasn't like that experience I had at the Denny's on the
Island. Yeah.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, it definitely felt very safe, and people were very well distanced, and yeah, it was fine, and it wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold, and yeah, it was just right.
Yep. Once again, there was no Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, damn it. But that should be coming shortly, hopefully. But overall, I will say this. To me, there are very few movies that I end up hating. And yeah, I'm not going to say I'm a fan of this movie whatsoever, but I didn't have a bad experience. For me, the movies I end up really loathing and hating are the ones to where the director or the actors or somebody just stopped caring.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen here. It's like this was an imperfect creation, but you can tell everybody had passion for this project, and that kind of showed. Even though we both kind of agreed that the ending was probably not the best, overall I would say you might want to catch this.
Sure, why not? Yeah, it wasn't great, but wasn't bad. I mean, if you like kind of emotional drama comedies, dramedies, I believe is what they call them.
Yes.
You'll probably like it.
Yes, and again, a great place to watch the movie is at the Laurelhurst, and I am happy to say that, they are taking COVID precautions seriously there. So if you are in the Portland, Oregon area and have not done so already, go see a movie. You're going to have a lot of good ones coming out, especially next month, Black Widow.
Woo! So
Yeah.
We'll go see Black Widow.
Definitely.
And we should probably see it at the Laurelhurst, considering it felt very safe. And I don't know if the big chains are going to be quite so conscientious.
No, and especially since the bigger chains, I guess, aren't going to enforce masks.
Yeah, let's go to the Laurelhurst.
Yeah, because at least at the Laurelhurst, the clientele, would take social distancing seriously. There was nobody that had like a chin diaper.
There were no chin diapers.
Yeah, so overall, yeah, it was fine, and I love downtown Portland with all the buildings. And it's like you'd be driving down a road you've driven down many, many times, and then just because there's a new building up, you don't know where you're at.
Yeah, I'm very confused as to where I'm at right now, actually.
I know where you're at. The road you're going on will do a little twist and then take you to downtown.
Yeah, that's not quite where I wanted to go, but okay.
We're
going.
Yes, we'll get there. But any other thoughts on the movie?
Just that I'm glad we went.
I'm definitely glad we went too. So, so that I think should wrap it up. Unless you have anything else you want to say.
Go to the Laurelhurst when you get a chance.
Yes, Laurelhurst is a great place. So, thank you all again for listening. Remember, every Wednesday and Saturday on this podcast feed, you're going to have some form of entertainment, whether that's me talking with one of my various friends or hearing an old-time radio show or something like that. We are here to keep you entertained, so thank you all for listening. And as we drive across the bridge and see the scenic Portland, Oregon sign that you see on all the picture postcards everywhere, we bid you adieu.
Adieu.
Subscribe to Friends Talking Nerdy on iTunes, the Google Play Music Store, as well as Spotify. Remember to support Friends Talking Nerdy on Patreon. Goodbye, darling.